Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to Good or Good Enough. So I saw the film Project Hail Mary, and here is my little review. The plot for this film it's more complex in the book, and it's kind of simplified for the film. A scientist teacher wakes up alone on a spaceship. As his memory returns, he uncovers a mission to stop a mysterious substance killing Earth's sun, and realizes that an unexpected friendship may be the key. And then the more expanded one is school science teacher Ryland Grace wakes up on a spaceship light years from home with no recollection of who he is or how he got there. Memory returns. He begins to uncover his mission to solve the riddle of the mysterious substance that is causing the sun to die out. He must call on his scientific knowledge and unorthodox ideas to save everything on Earth from existence, but an unexpected friendship means he may not have to do it alone. A quick summary for this film is that it is 2 hours and 36 minutes. They do cut a lot out from the book, so people did complain that it is still too long, and in some parts it does drag. I would have probably added the 30 minutes or the 25 minutes and made it 3 hours, and then added some stuff in, I think. The movie, it is PG-13, which is really nice. There's really not too much adult stuff, maybe like none at all, probably. It has an 8.3 star rating. It is an adventure epic, buddy comedy, dark comedy, I guess, maybe, kinda, I guess. I think that's more from Ryan Gosling's performance of, portrayal of the character. And it is sci-fi. And the sci-fi is not explained as well. It is like in the book, I guess, apparently. So a lot of things are like, the book readers will understand it, and then they gloss over a couple of things, well as basically speeding up things like him figuring stuff out. They kind of just cut to the point, or him figuring out the final thing of that or whatever. It is directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, and then written by Drew Goddard and Andy Weir, who did the book. So this is adapted to the movie, and they cut out a lot. And then it is starring Ryan Gosling, Sandra Huller, and James Ortiz as well. It's mostly Ryan Gosling, except for when the flashbacks happen, you see the other characters. Budget for this film is $200 million. Luckily, it made $80 million opening weekend, and then it made $335 here, and then $668 million worldwide. So that's really good. This guy did The Martian, and that was adapted to a movie with Matt Damon. People say there could be a sequel or a prequel to this film, and that could explore the dead scientists on board at the beginning, or from the book, as well, that he's not supposed to be the only one there. There's a scientist, engineer, and pilot, I believe. Is if there's an X factor, I would say, yeah, I guess the cute stuff, Ryan Gosling's portrayal, and then the other thing that is a spoiler, I think all of that really adds to a sweetness to the movie, and in the end, you end up caring about Ryan Gosling's character as well as a spoiler. So it's pretty cool how they do it, and it gets very emotional towards the end. And then is there conflict? I guess, yeah, I guess there is, yeah. He's reluctant at first. He doesn't want to do it. And then they coerce him, and then, all this stuff. And then I think it gets to the point where they force him, basically, or whatever. So that's good. Yes, there's conflict. A ticking time bomb, yes. Definitely yes. I'm not sure if in the book it stated exactly how long they have. I'm sure they have as long as the story needs. You know what I mean? So it's probably, the correct amount of time. Character development and arc, I would say, yeah, I guess, because at the end, I guess Grace finally, accepts his mission and what he's doing. But that could be just because he's slowly getting his memory back. So as at first he doesn't want to do anything. He's really like against it, whatever. And then by the end of the movie, he accepts who he is. So I don't know if that's due to him himself, which it seems like it is, but it could be just that he's getting his memory back and he finally remembers what the mission was. And then if there's any message or themes in the film, I guess never give up, rise to the occasion, all of that, I don't know, accept other ideas. I don't know. Yeah, stuff like that. You could probably interpret your own message, whatever, you could figure out the meaning of this is to you probably. And then do I recommend this film? I say yes. It's pretty entertaining. Okay, so now we can talk spoilers for this film. It's definitely cut down a lot from the book. So they definitely omit a lot of stuff, unfortunately, which really confused me and bummed me out because I like that stuff, I guess, and I really would have liked to see a lot of it explained, and they don't. So I had to go and search up things for myself and found out a lot of cool stuff. Okay, so basically at an hour and 50 minutes, when they're fishing for the stuff that they need, the amoeba, whatever it's called, amoeba or something, I don't know. The predator stuff, whatever. So they finally they get it, and then Grace has returned to the ship, and now the gravity is starting to tear everything apart. So it gets to the point where Grace, or something happens, something slams really hard, like right here. So something slams really hard, or crashes, whatever, something, and then basically Grace is there, and then I think, something's happening, whatever, something big explodes, he slams into that, and it slams forward, and it knocks him out, basically. So now Rocky, okay, who is the creature that they spoiled in the trailer, I guess, I don't get it, I don't know if... I would say the twist is really when Grace decides to go save Rocky. Wouldn't that be more of the twist? Be right, I guess? I don't know. But that's the twist, I guess. Whatever. So basically this happens, and Rocky is left with no choice but to break out of his thing. And he starts stinking up, whatever, smoking and whatever, from the atmosphere. And he basically... he does that, whatever. So yeah, he saves him. He's able to help him out, put him on the table. The robot helps too. He makes it back to wherever he's at, that thing, the glass enclosure. So he's basically there, and yeah, so I guess he is alive. So Grace gets the stuff ready, I think, that they got, and then it works. It's the stuff that they need. He basically waits for Rocky to wake up, and then they show him the things that they made, and they celebrate because it's all good, and then he goes to see his planet, or his ship, and then they do one more thing. Basically, the end part is where I guess in the book, I've heard they force him, I think, or something. In this, they guess they kind of do the same thing, whatever, and then he basically goes back and leaves. They do the little last, send off goodbye thing, and then they part ways, basically, right here. So they go, and then one more flashback or something, whatever, and then eventually he finds out that the stuff is leaking into the ship, something, and then he finds out that the same thing is going to happen to Rocky's ship. So now he has to choose whether to go back to Earth, or go to Earth, continue to go to Earth, or go save Rocky. So decides to send the things, potato logs, and enough amoeba for your own farm, whatever, all this stuff. Sends it off, go back in the little capsules, and they're sent all over there. He turns around and goes to Rocky's ship. He finds him, he docks, he goes in, he finds him, and over this part 2, he in the book he learns to communicate without the stuff, or he learns a language or something, whatever. So here, the translation machine anymore, so you don't hear that voice anymore. So it's basically just him talking in his musical notes, language. So and then they get the stuff, and then we see at the end it just skips a lot. Unfortunately, it goes to here, and we see that Grace is on this planet thing, and Rocky's there when he goes out of the door. And then they're on the beach. And it really, really confused me, because I guess he built this dome for Grace, I guess? I don't know. To have air, I don't know. I don't get it. Very strange. They gloss over it. I don't know how long it took to build these glass prism costume things. They're, anyway, like those space suit, basically. But it's like flexible glass. It's really intricate and complex looking. It must have taken hours to make. And then that's basically that. He's on this planet, and then he goes over here, and you're like, what? What's he doing? And then it turns out that he's a teacher now to the class of other rock things, whatever, or the Iridian, I guess, right? The Iridian people, I guess. And then that's basically it. They've cut out a lot of stuff from the book. Yes, so they get the stuff, and I guess everything's good. That's why they could do a sequel and then show Grace going to Earth and seeing what happened, or they could do a prequel and see what happened to the scientists, or they could do a prequel or whatever from Rocky's point of view, but I don't know, whatever. So yeah, those are all the spoilers for this film. Okay, and then things that I liked in this film. I liked a lot of things that I guess were not explained because it's the movie or whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, I like the opening scene. Was pretty funny though, when the robot thing is like trying to put him back on the table and all that. Pretty hilarious. I like this 3D or like whatever VR type of a room, which was added. I guess it wasn't in the book, but I like it. It's pretty cool. This scene was really hilarious because, yeah, a lot of humor in it. They literally have to take a moment, or she has to take a moment to see if they don't want him to die or whatever, which, whatever. And then they go, well, we can get another one. Like, technically, he's expendable. And it's just a pretty hilarious scene, as well as the other few moments in that scene. Pretty hilarious. Whole scene, too, was pretty funny when him and, I guess, the bodyguard or whoever, he has a government card. So they go to the store to buy stuff, and they bond, and it's really hilarious. Let's do a bunch of different things together, and they bond. And it's pretty hilarious because you didn't expect this guy to be like that. But it's very sweet. And then they buy a bunch of stuff, whatever, and it's a cool, fun little montage. This scene is pretty cool, too. I really like it because the music, it's like, yeah, and then what they're doing is pretty hilarious, and just how they do it is really comedic, very funny. This part was pretty funny when, I guess, Rocky's ship, that, you find out later, appears in front of him, and it's so funny, just like how it happens, and then he wants to leave. And this is the part that confused me so much, that the ship has this science, they're using the stuff, the astrophage, to do, to send sound waves or whatever, and then move the ship. And I was like, how is he moving so fast? I was like, that is insane. I thought you couldn't do that. And yeah, so he basically does this thing, and it's hilarious. Really confused me. I ended up asking Grok, and it explained to me how it happened. Like this whole part right here. He's literally clicking the button, and it's moving forward. That is crazy. And then it does it too. That part kind of confused me too, that the Rocky has all this technology and stuff, and I wanted that explained. I really don't understand how the bridge thing worked. That was pretty cool too. All of this is awesome. They send all this stuff. He sends a thing. He thinks it's a bomb the first time. Sends it that second time. And he decides to go over somehow. And I think that is when he gets the thing. And then basically I think he aligns the ship with Rocky's ship, and then they spin together so they have gravity or something. No, maybe not yet. Oh, I guess that's going to happen. Whatever. Yeah, okay, so whatever. This part confused me too. I really like it, but I don't know what's happening. It looks like a 3D printer, but they have 3D printing or whatever. I mean, look at it. Well, I don't understand what it's doing. It looks like magic. Like, look at that. Like, I don't understand that. That's so confusing. You know, I'm going to read the book, I guess, actually, and because I want to see all of this stuff explained. I don't get it, you know? I'm going to have to ask Rock again. But yeah, and then he basically uses this as a tunnel to go over there, and then he sees him in this thing, like a spider rock thing that he ends up calling Rocky. Very strange. So then he ends up making lights, whatever, to go see him, whatever. Very cool. Must have taken a long time, though. This part I really liked also when you first see him, I guess, and they communicate about dancing, whatever. Rocky mimics Grace's movements. And this part, pretty awesome too, when Grace gets to actually see him or meet Rocky up close. And then he's pointing, whatever. That was pretty funny too. I really like that. This scene too, when he's trying to communicate to him. They glossed over this in the book too. He takes way longer to do it. And then to make the communication device. And then he shows him his clock. That was pretty cool. I like that. I like how they show Rocky's vision, which is echolocation, I think is what they said. But they show it, I believe. Or, yeah, they do. I mean, but a few times. I thought they showed it here. Right here, they show it. And it's very cool looking when they do it. I like this part, too. It's pretty hilarious when he watches him sleep. It's so funny. So, like all the transitions they do, by the way. The way they do everything to blend it together is very nice. They do a lot of this stuff, you know? And then this completes the turn. It's really nice how they do it. This part was really hilarious when Rocky makes this suit thing. He basically goes into Grace's ship, and then he just goes all over the place. Pretty hilarious, pretty funny, I guess. Kind of silly, I guess, whatever. But yeah. But other than that, really funny. He just goes all over. Pretty funny. Like, they both have their little disagreement, and then he doesn't get it. He's like, where's my bedroom? And then it's so funny because he has super hearing and all this stuff, and then they have like this argument. That was so funny. And this scene I really like too. It's just so beautiful, and full IMAX too. Beautiful shots of this planet. So here is where the joke with Rocky, when he says that he made the thing that he can see with. It's pretty awesome. Grace says, I wish you could see this. And then Rocky says, Rocky can see. Boring. So funny. But he made a device to see, basically. It's pretty awesome. I like this whole part too. It's absolutely insane. I think that there's something wrong with the stuff, whatever. So they have to get a different, to go fishing, whatever, for another sample, I guess, or a different kind of it, the stuff that they need, the Talmiba, whatever it's called. And then, yeah, they basically, he has to go for this stuff with this, you know, fishing pole type thing, I guess. And then he gets it, he comes in, he has the stuff, and then that's when the big thing happened. I really like that. It's very sad, very emotional, and then Rocky sacrifices himself to save Grace. Yeah, very emotional. This scene, the celebration scene part, was pretty hilarious because Rocky shows that he is wearing an outfit, and it's like he has actual clothes, but it's only for celebration time or whatever. And then Grace gives him a party hat, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, it's very cool, and he puts it on and wears it, whatever, and the fireworks are going on. So very cool. I like that scene. The final scene, too, is very sweet, very awesome, I guess, when the first one, the fake out, I guess, maybe, or, when he says goodbye. And then this whole part, too, when he decides to send the things, Amoeba back to Earth, and then go save Rocky. So pretty crazy. And I was thinking, like, yeah, he would have been back, and it would have been so much time would have passed on Earth. It would have been crazy. So yeah, and then when he finds his ship again, pretty awesome. He goes to see Rocky, and they reunite. And the part when he sends the thing back, it's pretty cool because she gets to see this Rocky person or whatever. Gets to meet Rocky basically, or see who Rocky is. The Iridians, yeah. And then the end scene is very cool, very sweet. I just wish that it was a little bit more explained, I guess. Yeah, so I don't know. I would have not minded all of the sci-fi stuff, whatever. I mean, Avatar managed to squeeze in explanations. I'm pretty sure. They dive into that a little bit. They don't totally pass by those things. Okay, and then things I would fix. I don't understand, which is probably explained in the book. How does Rocky understand Grace? Does he speak English or something? Or does he know English? Because Rocky didn't make a translation to Grace's English into his music note language, right? But Grace had to make one to translate his music notes into English words. He went through that and basically had him say the notes or, talk, and then he assigned a word to each sound, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. So Grace did that, but Rocky didn't need to do that to him over there. I don't understand that. That was a little weird. Yeah, and then the other thing is, why didn't they explain all the science stuff? I mean, come on, that wouldn't have hurt. It just treats the audience like, oh, you're an idiot, so we're not going to explain any of this because your brain isn't going to get it. Yeah, but just you could explain it in a different way. I mean, how many movies explain time travel in a silly way? You know what I mean? It's just, you get it, right? It explains it in a silly way, and you go, oh, I get it. So they'd have done that if they didn't have any faith in the audience. And then I would have added the 30 minutes or 25 minutes, 24 minutes, and brought it to 3 hours, and then added in all of the omitted sci-fi stuff. That's what I would have done. I don't know. I wouldn't have cut it out. I would have, yeah, the ship works by sound waves or whatever. Powered by the astrophage, whatever, which expels energy or whatever. So I just don't, they could have left that in there, maybe they do say it a little tiny bit, but they don't expand on it. Then how long did it take to make the suits? It cuts so much out, but then leaves so much in. This could have been 2 hours. We didn't have to really see, some scenes could have been cut out. I don't know. And in place of some heavy sci-fi scenes. How long did it take to make those suits? Rocky makes the suit for Grace when he goes to see Rocky's ship. What? Do you, it looks like glass panels or whatever with mold in between for flexibility, I guess. Do you know how long that would have taken? They did all of that out. I want to see your ship. All right. Boom. Here's your suit. Here he is in the suit. Do you know how long that would have taken? Unless you think Rocky just had human suits available? He met humans. Maybe he met humans before. Maybe they said that in the movie. Maybe he said, oh, I met humans once. I don't think so, but that would explain a lot. If, like, yeah, the Iridians have met humans before, and they passed the document around that said what they learned, and then everybody learned that basic knowledge. So Rocky had a suit built for a human in case he meets a human one day. I don't know. Very weird. I just would have. I mean, 2.5 hours. I would have just rounded it off to 3 hours. I guess 2.5 technically, but I would have rounded it up to 3 hours and just added some explanations in. I think this whole scene at the end. Why all of a sudden he's like they're in this biodome thing? Rocky built that. Maybe the Iridians built it. This is Iridian or Iridia or whatever planet. This is Rocky's planet, right? I guess. And they should have put a title card. They could have put in the bottom left, Rocky's home planet. You know, like whatever. In Guardians of the Galaxy, they put up, I think, the coordinates, you know, the longitude and latitude thing, as well as the title, Xandar, and then the whatever, you know, the coordinates. Why couldn't they have done this here? I could have really done with some explanations, you know? So yeah, they build them the whole biodome, whatever, and yeah, I could have used the explanations. I mean, all of this is just like, this is Rocky's house. I guess maybe what it's saying is that this is his planet, and then this biodome is for Grace. But in order for Rocky to go in there, he still has to wear the suit because technically, even though it's on Iridian, this is Earth in this, whatever. So you just gotta I guess, connect the dots on your own. I don't understand the wave-making machine underneath. It looks like the waves are naturally happening. If that's happening, that means there's a moon, right? Or whatever, how that works. Perhaps there is no moon, so they have to simulate the waves somehow. Like Rocky has to do it. There we go. That stuff. Yeah, this whole shot, I don't understand that. Basically, yeah, they show some stuff, whatever. And this, I mean, like, so the waves aren't natural there, is what they're saying. On Rocky's own planet, that looks like a planet. Maybe the rings, I don't know, whatever. So there's a wave making machine, I guess. And I guess that's for Grace, whatever he requested that. So I don't understand that. He says, tell the biolumination team, biodome team, whatever, to change the brightness or the heat of the water or whatever. I don't know. Very weird. I could have really used those explanations, I think. And then the look of the film is, of course, just extremely beautiful. I like that the IMAX, the big scenes are shot in IMAX, and then it goes back into the widescreen stuff. I really like that. And then I think they even seem to use it like as his sort of eyes. There's a scene where he basically, like, his eyes are opening at the beginning, and it's basically, I think it looks like it's making it like he is remembering all of the memories that he apparently forgot, and he's remembering it as he goes along. The way they show it, it's kind of cool. Like, yes, at first it's kind of nice. Like, he's seeing the memory get clearer, you know? I really like that effect. Yeah, it's really great. I think that, yeah, he said that he didn't like the harness or whatever to make him look like he's in zero gravity. I'll go over that in the trivia section of this review. But he basically said like he didn't like it, so he did something with his body to, I forgot why, as a response or to make it look better or something. I don't know. And then the planet that they go to, Tau Ceti, I think. I don't know. The very beautiful graphics. The planet we just saw, Iridian, whatever it's called, Iridia. I don't know. The planet, very beautiful with the rings around it. All the graphics, very beautiful. I think The Martian looks really like way cleaner than this film. I think this film has some type of rough, grainy filter or something. I don't know what it is, but The Martian looks really clear, though. I think it looks so clear, like very clear film. So I don't know why that is, or I don't know. It looks very clear. And the sound of the film, I think, was really great. A lot of, low end, tons of bass, beautiful music, not your average music, or background music, or whatever. They played the Beatles music sometimes, maybe just one. There seems to be, I'm not sure how heavy it is in the book, but a very light Beatles theme, in that he writes the names of the members onto the capsules that hold that, the Tau Amoeba stuff when he sends it back to Earth. It names them after the Beatles members. Pretty cool. And at one point, there is a Beatles song that gets played. I don't think they played any other songs or any other music. That I remember. I think it's literally just the one Beatles song. But yeah, the sound is very great. Beautiful sound design. And then my final thoughts for this film are, I'm going to say a few that I've already said, whatever. And then, yeah, I'm sure this is going to be fixed when I read the trivia, when we go through that trivia. So, how does Rocky know English? I don't get that. Very strange. I don't know. I didn't see him. I don't know. If they said that he met humans once, that would explain a lot, I think. The 8.3 rating seems a little too much. If I don't know. For me, it's like maybe, I don't know, a 7, maybe, a 7.2. I don't know. You know what I mean? An 8.3 seems a little too much. For how much they dumb this movie down and skip over things, I don't think an 8.3 is the correct rating. I don't even think 8.0 is the correct rating. I don't think 7.8 or even 7.6 is the correct rating. I think 7 is fine. Maybe even, I don't know. I don't know. The story is an 8.3 star story. The movie is 7.7 stars, maybe 6.8. You know what I mean? Because they cut so much stuff out. He's like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, he acts like a dork, whatever. And I just think that, the movie is, it is a smart movie. Like, it's about a legitimate, it could happen, I don't know, but it's not far-fetched in like time travel, or whatever, teleportation, or something like that. This is kind of a realistic story in a way. So them to omit all of these things that explain everything, it just doesn't make any sense. I like Rocky's ship. How is it a bunch of sticks? It's literally sticks, and it moves as fast as Grace's ship, as the Hail Mary. I don't understand that. How he has the same technology. They also use astrophage to power, to do sound waves and push the ship. I don't get it. But it looks like he does. It looks like they have the same exact technology. Like right here. For example, here's that scene right here. How is that possible? Look how fast he's moving, okay? How is he doing that? Where are the jets? Where are the flames? There's a really crazy explanation for that, but they're not going to tell you until you read the book or whatever. And then for some reason, okay, Rocky, his ship have the same technology. Maybe it's not. Maybe he is moving slightly slower, but it looks like he catches right up to him. And look how fast he moves away. And then this thing comes after him very quickly, no lag, no nothing. So I don't know. Those things are already Weird. I don't think it's an 8.3 though. The movie is entertaining and sweet. It's not amazing. You know, I don't know. There's some things that are just, they should have kept it in. You know, that makes it look like there's issues and there's not. It's just not included in the movie from the book. It's so dumb. They skip over so much. At the end when Grace is on the new planet, it just cuts to it. Yeah. It just, oh, we're on a new planet. Okay, well, that's fine. And then, yeah, I guess they're on the Iridian planet. I don't know. I guess that's what that was. How did they construct the glass enclosures for Rocky to walk around in? Do you know how long that would have taken? I don't get it. What was the big thing that makes the bridge? A gigantic 3D printer. What was that? It looked like legitimate magic. Look at this. Watch. I will find that right now. Here is that scene, okay? Literally connects these things to the ship, and then all of a sudden this thing that looks like a 3D printer comes from his Rocky's ship to Grace's ship. And it's somehow, look at it. It's like it's 3D printing that. Explain that to me. Look at that. Look at that right there. Is that not a 3D printer? How in the world does Rocky's people, the Iridians, invent a 3D printer like that? Made out of rocks? I don't know. I just wish that would have been explained. I don't know. Very weird. Yeah, and it's like, how long did it take to make the suit for Grace to go into Rocky's ship? I mean, I don't get it. I don't know. I would have liked to see the tray that Rocky passed the thing back and forth, and when the heat blasts into Grace's face, and he's like, "Whoa, that's really hot." What was that? What was the glass enclosure? What was the tray? I don't know. I just don't understand why they chose to get rid of that. I don't get it. You know, like, it's so bizarre. And then that brings me into my summary. I'm sure I have a lot of questions, so I'm sure maybe more or whatever. So anyways, summary again for this film is that it is 2 hours and 36 minutes. The parental rating is PG-13. The movie rating is 8.3 stars. I think that's a little high. I don't know. The tags are adventure epic, buddy comedy, dark comedy, sci-fi. The director is Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. It is written by Drew Goddard and Andy Weir, who did the book. They did cut out a lot of stuff for the movie. The stars are Ryan Gosling, Sandra Hüller, and James Ortiz. The budget is an insane $200 million. Luckily, the opening weekend was $80 million, and then the domestic was $335 million, with a worldwide gross of $668 million. Pretty insane. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The X factor for the film, I would say, yes, the cute stuff between Grace and Rocky. They have a very beautiful, kind of, I guess, touching relationship. Conflict, yes, there is. The ticking time bomb, yes, there definitely is. But it's as much as as much time as the movie needs to complete the mission. And then character development, yes. Grace finally accepts what he's doing, although that could just be that he remembers the mission. Messages and themes would be, guess, never give up, rise to the occasion, all of that stuff. And then do I recommend this film? Yes. So after all that, I guess surprisingly, I'm gonna say that this film is good enough. Okay, so that wraps up my review of Project Hail Mary. That is part of the end of the main review. I will be going over the trivia, trailer, goofs, and review on my other channel. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Comment down below about what you thought of this film, and I will see you in the next review.